Welcome to the Cruising is Life podcast. Whether you're a seasoned cruiser or just starting out, we have something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and get ready to set sail with us on the Cruising is Life podcast.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cruising is Life podcast. How's it going, everybody? Everybody that's here live, listening on whatever platform it is now. We're now on Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. I didn't realize that was a thing for podcasting. But we're on all sorts of different platforms now. But how's everybody doing? We've got our special guest, Nick. We're at Travel. Is it Travel with Nick, right?
Travel with Nick, that's it.
All right. And of course, we got our normal guest, our co-host, Justin here. Nick, if you want to tell us about yourself, shout out to your channels, things like that before we get started.
Yeah, of course. What's up, everybody? My name's Nick J, and I run the Travel with Nick social pages. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tinder. Not Tinder. You can find me on everything, though.
All right.
I'm here, there, and everywhere. And I make cruise vlogs. You can mainly find me on, or find me cruising Carnival, but I do sprinkle in a little bit of other cruise lines every now and then. I did 2 cruises in a row on Royal Caribbean. May not ever do that again, but they're up there for you. And then, of course, we've got other cruises coming up in the future with different cruise lines, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But again, Travel with Nick on all social medias. You can find me there. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah, not a problem. Glad to have you, man. Nick is actually fresh off of Carnival Jubilee, the newest XL class ship, the newest Carnival ship. So he's great person to have here this week for our topic, talking about the XL class from Carnival. That project really is kind of wrapped up finally, whether it's, the Carnival ships, the Costa ships, all those. And then so now we're kind of looking forward to the next one. So we'll talk about the success and just different things about the XL class and work our way into the next one as we kind of start rumors and speculating on that next one, because we're starting to get information finally about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sailed on Mardi Gras about, I guess, almost 2 years ago, which is hard to believe. And then, of course, you're right off the Jubilee. Justin, you've done a little bit of tours on Mardi Gras a couple times, right? Yep. Right. You had the inter-cruises stuff, right?
Yeah. I toured that ship, I think, 3 different times. Once I had a friend working on board, so she invited me. Right. And then I think a second time with inter-cruises. And I guess the third time, I mean, I probably shouldn't say, but I was working. But I did get to do the roller coaster that time, so that was awesome.
You just say you get lost on there.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. That's basically what he does. Is he tells the inter-cruises people, "Oh, I got lost, or I had to help somebody about push them around the ship for a little bit on the wheelchairs."
Yeah, they wanted to see the roller coaster.
They wanted to see the roller coaster, and he just ends up on there.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll never forget. There's actually the one time I think it actually happened when you did that. We were both ship spotting, obviously, but I was just pulling up to the port, and I'm going down that little stretch right next to Terminal 3, and I see this guy going across on the roller coaster, and I literally go, "I swear to God, if that's Justin." And then I parked my car not 30 seconds later, and I get a text, "Bro, you're not gonna believe what I just did at work."
It's a picture of me in full Intercruises uniform on the roller coaster.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was the funniest. The fact that I saw it from the ground, it was the best part of it all.
Well, I'm a big guy. It's not that hard to see me from the distance.
Right. That was awesome. But yeah, so none of us have really been on Celebration, so that was kind of the odd one out here. But honestly, they're pretty much all the same a little bit. I know Jubilee's kind of got some really cool upgrades, which I've seen you do a couple cool videos on it, Nick. There's that promenade area where it's got all the screens and things like that. But I guess general layout, like the ships are all the same. It still baffles me to this day that like we actually got a roller coaster on a cruise ship. The fact that they actually pulled that off.
Yeah, for real. I mean, back in the day, there used to be like pictures of like crazy things that'd be like on a cruise ship. Like I think there was one of like an airport or something, and one of them had a roller coaster. Obviously, it was a different kind of roller, like it was like a legit one.
Right.
But I remember seeing that picture and thinking, oh, that's never gonna happen. It's impossible. So to see it now, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It was way faster than I was expecting too.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
There's something about being on like a roller coaster, being on that little bike type of thing, and you're 20 decks above the water, and you're just looking over like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this. I'm on a roller coaster right now. Like that's what was going through my head when I was on the Mardi Gras. I think we were like docked in Costa Maya or something like that when I did it. And I was just like, I cannot believe this is actually happening. Like looking around me as I'm trying to like hold on for dear life. But it was really cool. And the funny part is like you said, like growing up, it was always, oh, a roller coaster on a cruise ship. Like that'll never happen. I mean, I feel like we said that the same thing about go-karts, and then we got the Joy. But of anybody that was going to put a roller coaster on a ship, it was Carnival, and I'm not surprised that they were the ones to do it.
I thought Disney was going to do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Disney probably would be another. That's like a good number 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard they wanted to put a lazy river on the Dream Class, or the Disney wanted to put their Dream Class. They wanted a lazy river on it. They couldn't get the deck space. Because I know that's actually something that came from the Pinnacle Project too, is that that lazy river concept. I would not be surprised. Speaking of the Pinnacle Project and the next gen ships, which we'll kind of dive a little bit further into later, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see that, given that project, how it has such a large, like wide lanai deck. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lazy river on it, or at least in that back area. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. I would be in there all day, every day. I love a good lazy river.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hope they don't make you pay for it with the way things are going now.
That's not. It's not Norwegian. It's not Norwegian. Norwegian. If you walk 5 feet, you got to pay $5 on Norwegian.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, luckily we paid a little bit extra for our Joy cruise, and that way we don't have to pay for anything when we get on there.
True.
But because we actually were looking between that and Celebration. It was like, all right, we got a couple extra things included on the Joy, and we don't have to drive to Miami. So we ended up picking that one. But now I'm going, crap, I want to do the Celebration. but yeah, like, and then with the roller coaster, the big water park. Did you try the water park at all? That's actually one thing I didn't do.
Yeah, no, I tried it out. It's the drop slide on there, crazy. I did it once. I'm never doing it again. My legs were shaking after. I was like, I can't do this no more.
That's awesome.
It is pretty crazy, and that mat slide one too is a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it's got this cool technique that people were telling me to do. It's like you lift up the front and then you lift up your legs and you fly through it.
Jeez, oh my God. I didn't do that, but
they have a slide like that on Icon. I might have to try that technique.
Yeah. And then they have what's it called? Twister, I think. And that's like the
regular just spinning around type of thing. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Carnival never misses with the water parks. Like I know Norwegian's got like cool slides on some of their ships, and like Royal Caribbean's starting to kind of like get into that. Icon is like a whole different story when it comes to water parks. Yeah. That's like an actual like theme park, but basically. But like even with like the XL class, like they did a really good job. That's a really big water park still. They have,
it's nice.
What is it, 3 or 4 slides? Then they got all like the like scaffolding for the kids to like run around, play on the little drench bucket, things like that.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I mean, surprised how big it was in person.
Right, exactly. It's huge.
Yeah,
and that's one thing about the ship. Like, you compare it to the Oasis class. It still nothing to this day really comes close, other than the Icon, and that's still pretty close. But like nothing comes close to the Oasis class in size. But honestly, when you're standing on the XL class ships, it's they're huge. They're massive. Like that's probably the biggest ship. Actually, it is the biggest ship I've been on other than the Oasis class. Like, they're massive. They're one of the the ships to get the closest to that size.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that movie screen up on the Lido deck, if that's the biggest one I see, because that's huge. Like, I didn't realize how big that was either, but I walked up under it, and it's like almost across the whole entire,
Oh my God, you're right.
It's massive. I know Princess, like the newer ships have, and those TVs are huge. Yeah. But I think the Mardi, like that XL class, is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the biggest at sea. I probably wouldn't even be a question about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cool. I think we watched, what's that? what's that Disney movie? I'm blanking on it. We don't talk about Bruno.
Encanto.
Encanto. Yes. I don't know how I
Coco,
forgot that.
Is it Coco or
Oh, great
Encanto?
movie.
Coco is fire though. I like that. That's a good movie. But yeah, we watched Encanto on the Mardi Gras. I remember like one night we were all just sitting up on the deck. And they had a really good layout with the pool deck on Mardi Gras and that class too. Like going from like the stadium seating on the Conquest class, like the Destiny class ships. Like I love that. That's probably one of my favorite things about that class is the stadium seating, how they have that set up. So whenever they move towards the Dream and the Vista classes, like that was something I didn't really quite like. It was still good, but it's something I miss, in those newer ships is the stadium seating. But they have a little bit of that, and I feel like they probably know that it was a characteristic of the old ships that were kind of missed.
Right.
So it's like maybe 3 or 4 like levels to it. So it's not a whole lot, but they brought that back, which is really cool to see, and I really liked that on that ship.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And with a ship that big, I mean, there's so many food options too. I literally got lost my first day on Mardi Gras. Like,
No, same.
I got lost trying to find the guy's burger joint because it's always in the same spot. So I was like, where the heck is this place?
Yeah, it's like off to the side and up one deck, I think, right? From
Yeah.
the pool deck.
Yeah, it's
Right.
on 17 or 18, one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember I went straight to the Shack's chicken, grabbed that, and I ate some, and I was like, all right, well, I'm missing a guy's burger. After the COVID shutdown, and then the first cruise back from COVID was on Mariners, so I was like, all right, I'm missing my guy's burger, which I still am missing guy's burgers. Can't wait for that on Glory, by the way. But, like, so I had the Shack's chicken, really good, and I was like, all right, so I needed my guy's burger. I walked around the ship. I was like, all right, where the heck is this place? I ended up coming back to my table with more chicken. and my parents were like, that's not a burger. I go, I couldn't find it.
It is good, though. That chicken is good.
Oh, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
That's definitely,
Yeah,
I think that's one of the best restaurants. I hope they put that like on newer, or like, if they refurbish other ships like the Vista right now, I hope they do that with it. That's one thing I hope
That'd
they
be
do to the Vista.
interesting. That wouldn't be a bad idea if they did that.
Yeah, for sure.
They can do it like Radiance and swap the Seafood Shack. And because I think they put the Seafood Shack in the Lido buffet. And then they moved
Oh, you're right.
where the Seafood Shack was. So they should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a couple ways they could do it. That's one thing I hope makes its way around the fleet, kind of like guys did. It's weird that it's 10 plus years ago that all started, them bringing that out.
Real.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a point in time where we would literally book certain ships, or like we wouldn't go on a ship that didn't have it.
I don't blame you, though.
Honestly, they're good burgers. They're great
They-
burgers.
They need to roll out a Fun Ship 3.0 or 4.0, one of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for real. Maybe not roller coasters on these ships, but upgrade some of the dining venues and stuff like that. There's so much on the XL class.
Yeah.
So much.
Like I was telling Nick before the stream here, like we were getting off the ship and like got home, and I'm making my tour video, and I'm like, I didn't try half of this stuff. Like I tried something different, I feel like almost every day, and I still didn't try like half the food options that were on the ship.
Yeah, like the zones, I don't even think I saw that like little 2-story promenade area. I didn't even run into that until like the 3rd or 4th day.
Right? Oh, what is it? The Central Plaza, Central Place, something like that.
Not Grand Central, but the one that's like right to the left or to the right of it.
Oh, as you like go down the side of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like that's a whole.
It's
There's
just-
like more restaurants down there. There's like shopping, restaurants, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, Emeralds, all those places.
It's crazy. And with the Jubilee, and you could probably explain it a little bit better, but like they changed that whole area for that. Like it's still the same layout. It's they move some things around, but they put in like the big really cool like LED effects.
Yeah. No, it's all like the same concept. It's kind of more like Celebration than it is Mardi Gras, but like they got the big old screens that go across, and then on the second story of that area, there's this like a tablet kind of thing, and it's got different options, and you can change the whole entire theme of that area. And so like things that you wouldn't even expect to change color or like flip around and things like that, they like flip and change. It's super, super cool. And so it literally, like, if you pick the green option, like the whole place will turn green. And it's kind of weird.
That's
because
actually
while
sick.
You're eating at what's up?
That's sick.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like when you're eating at Emerald's, that little restaurant that's right down there, all that's happening at the same time while you're eating. And so the restaurant, it changes colors too. So it kind of catches you off guard. Every now and then, but it's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Justin, I think we might have to book the Jubilee. I'm
Yeah,
prepared to take the flight out to Texas for that. That's cool.
I'm in.
For real. Like, my biggest appeal for the Jubilee, me personally, is because it was my 4th cruise ever, but it was my very first Carnival cruise was on the original Jubilee. So it's like my mom actually still has a sweater from the original Jubilee. And so she's like, I just want to go on the ship so I can wear it and have the right ship on.
Right.
Like, that's all. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's one of the really cool things about renaming them like to older ships. Like, I hope with the next project they don't do it, but I feel like this particular class and like what it meant for Carnival it was pretty fitting.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it was their biggest, most ambitious project ever, probably other than like the Pinnacle Project that never saw the light of day. Like, that was the best thing that Carnival's ever put out. It's just I feel like it almost ushered in like a new era for Carnival, really, because it doesn't feel like a Carnival ship when you step on there.
Right.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, every Carnival ship basically has the same design, like not design, layout inside. Obviously, it's tweaked a little bit here and there for the size of the ship, but the Mardi Gras or the XL class was a big change from what they've been doing in the past. I mean, you look at the Fantasy class, the Spirit class, the Conquest, they all had the same kind of layout, you know, long hallway in the middle with your casino and different, nightclubs and stuff and restaurants. Then it opened up into the atrium, and then it went to the forward to the theater. They all had that very same layout. And then with the XL class, they really changed it up. So I think they're going to start going in a direction like that, even if it, like with the next class of ship, I don't think it's going to follow any kind of previous design that they have.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Have y'all been on the Spirit class?
I've sailed on Legend a long time ago. I guess we did a tour of Miracle, but that was also kind of a long time ago now. That was like 2017 or so.
Is that similar to like Conquest, Breeze, Dream?
Yeah, I mean it's a little different because the ship design is different, but it's very similar.
Okay. I was wondering. I was looking at one of the ship tours and I was like, I feel like I'd be lost on here, but
it's definitely it's close.
Once you were to get on it, you would realize it's pretty close.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, I went from, I think at the time I had pretty much just been on, mostly fresh off like the Carnival Vista, and I don't know if I had done the Horizon yet or not. Or no, the Horizon was still being built, I think. But so it was mostly Conquest Dream class that I had been on at that point. I've been on the Legend, but it had been so long. So when we did our Miracle tour, I was like, okay, I really don't feel like I know where I'm at. But then the main thing is, how it's normally a 3-story atrium. You got the bottom where the bar is, like shore excursions, all that stuff. It shows how cookie cutter some of the Carnival ships really are, because you could don't even have to tell you what ship, you just know where stuff is. Especially after I've been on I think I've been on 24 Carnival cruises, so which Glory, the 3-night on Glory is going to be my milestone cruise, which I'm kind of bummed about because I'm like, I want to do something really cool with it, like the Venezia, which is after that. But then you have the photo gallery up on deck 4, then deck 5 you have the ring of shops, then head to the back. Whereas on the Spirit class, you don't get that third deck.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much that's the big change. It's like and I think deck 4, just as you go further back, that's where the photo gallery is. And then I think deck 3 might have the casino.
Yep. Okay. It's right when you walk past those glass elevators, it opens up into the casino, and then it opens up after that. There's either like a little lounge right after that, or it goes right into where the theater is. Like there's an elevator bank, and then it goes into the theater.
Right.
Okay. But the glass elevators, they're flipped around. They're not facing towards the front. They're towards the back, or is it the other way still?
It's the same way as like the Conquests and Fantasy class. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, because the atrium's in the middle. I keep thinking it's in the front. It's in the middle on those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the big weird part.
I'm pretty sure it looks up into the funnel, like, because it's got that
Yes.
glass. I think that's what it looks up
Yes.
into.
I think you're right, because yeah, it shines down. Because that was
Yeah.
actually the fun fact for those who don't know, the Pinnacle Project that never came around. That was one of the ideas from the Pinnacle Project that came over from it. Like they sprinkle in whether, you know, everybody says we should bring back the Pinnacle Project, which I agree, but you know, there are concepts from the Pinnacle Project that we see in the new ships now, whether it's like from the Spirit class all the way up to like the Mardi Gras, things like that. So like that glass funnel, you know, they have the restaurant on the inside of it, but shining down into the atrium, that was a concept from the Pinnacle.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder how much of the Pinnacle Project is similar to the XL class on the inside. Because I noticed that if you find a picture of Pinnacle, there's that big like glass window like Mardi Gras and Celebration, all those have. So I wonder if there's like a similar type of concept in there. I doubt it, but I wonder if there is a.
I'm sure there was some kind of inspiration from it. Yeah. I know that project kind of like died, but I don't think it like went away. I think
it got very far along. It basically got to everything was done and they just didn't order it. It's like pretty much from what I've heard, like in stories and articles about it, like they just didn't order the ship, but it was a full project that was done.
Oh yeah,
like they had every.
It would
like,
have been stupid for them to not pull stuff from it.
Yeah, there's whole sketches of it, and I feel like Carnival maybe, I don't know if they are or aren't, but I like seeing that the Oasis class came right after the time frame that the Pinnacle would have been launching. I feel like Carnival went, crap. Yeah, like we should have done that because they were nothing against the Conquest class. I love those ships. I've been on almost all of them, but like when you're launching more Conquest class, but your competitors are launching ships that are multiple ships that are twice the size, you're like, all right, well, this ain't good.
Didn't they opt to do that instead of ordering those ships? Didn't they order?
I think Liberty and Freedom, I think, were the orders.
And then I think there might have been a Spirit class too, something like that.
Maybe it was the Miracle.
Maybe something like that. They ended up ordering the ships that they already had.
Yeah, right.
Were they still ordering Fantasy class back then too? Because there was 8 of them, right?
The last one,
I think they were done by then.
Oh, okay.
Paradise was in 98.
I think Destiny was coming out, and then they were still making Fantasy class and
right. Right.
Yeah, I think Pinnacle was like what 2006.
It was 2000. Supposedly it was 2003, 2004, which is
okay.
Oh wow.
I feel old thinking that's a 20-year-old project now.
Yeah, and I think the reason they didn't order was like I think because the economy wasn't well, right?
It was kind of starting to tank. I think the value of the euro went up or it went down to where like basically the price tag on it just skyrocketed, which I feel like is probably what. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened with Icon because they say that's a $2 billion ship, which
that's insane.
In comparison, like the Oasis class only cost about 1.2, 1.3, like across all of them. So. And Icon's not much bigger. It is, but it isn't. So I feel like the whole inflation aspect.
But
tacked on another 5 feet to it.
Literally. Did you hear about the story of when Oasis and Allure met up for the first time off of Fort Lauderdale when the ships were brand new? The captain of the Allure sent a lifeboat over to the Oasis and gave them a 6-inch ruler. And said, "Here you go," because that was the joke. It was the Allure was 6 inches longer than the Oasis. Other than that, they were identical. Other than the lifeboat configuration, but like that was like the only difference. That's the only reason the Allure is bigger is there was 6 inches, and it was like some weird like phenomenon with like the winter weather just like caused something weird to happen with the metal.
It like made the steel like expand or something. It was a very
weirdest thing.
Yeah,
it is the weirdest thing. I
always thought they just tacked on the flagpole at the end and called it the world.
That's probably exactly what they did.
Knowing Royal and how they marketed the Oasis class, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Right. Well, they said with Star they're not doing that.
I know that's the weird. That's cap. That ain't. That's not. They're
You know
gonna
that ship's gonna come out and they're gonna be like, just kidding, it's a little bit bigger.
just kidding. It's like
Yeah.
275.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Do a whole nother 20,000 tons on top of that.
Or
Yeah.
the difference between Oasis and Utopia is insane. It's like a whole 12,000 ton difference.
Dang.
But like you didn't really notice it because each ship gradually got a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So by the time you got to Wonder, it was like, oh, Wonder's just a little bit bigger than Symphony. But then if you look back on the Oasis, like you said, it's like, whoa, they actually got significantly bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when we see Wonder all the time in Port Canaveral doing our ship spotting, and when Allure first got here, you know, seeing Wonder every weekend, we see the Allure and we're like, that looks small.
Yeah, it's got a
Like I don't know what it is. It's like it's the way they shaped the solarium. It just makes it look small.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. But back on Carnival. But
I'll do this would happen.
we name a podcast that we stay on topic. But
We'll find it.
We
Yeah.
have to do like a general cruise podcast one week, so it
Just
doesn't
like
matter what we talk about.
random chat podcast one day. I'm sure it'll go for hours. But
Yeah.
like with the XL class, like it's incredible what they were able to do and be able to. I feel like making the jump from the Vista class to the Mardi Gras was a really impressive, and like how
For sure.
it was like the dream class and the Vista class was like a step for them in like the right direction. They finally changed a little bit away from like that cookie cutter design. Like the Vista class has like small changes to it. It's like
Yeah.
basically the dream class with some changes, and then like the layout's a little bit different. And
Yeah.
then so they're like, all right, people are liking that it's kind of different, and then just went all out
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
But I like how it's still like, it doesn't necessarily feel like a carnival ship, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still got like everything that you know and love about a carnival ship.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
Yeah.
it's just that perfect mix.
Definitely.
It really is. Like Carnival ships have that charm to them. You know,
Yeah.
people love to hate on Carnival. I don't understand why people hate Carnival. Like I love them. There's a reason I've cruised with them more than anybody else, despite all my recent Royal trips. Like I still love Carnival, and I miss them a lot. So I'm excited to start going with them again soon. 2025 shaping up to be my Carnival year again, so I'm hyped for that. But like Carnival ships have like a charm to them. Like they are the fun ships.
That homey
Like,
feeling. don't know what it
exactly.
is.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but like, and the way like the entertainment staff, things like that, like the fun squad, like they kind of make the ship. Like regardless of,
Yeah.
you know, if that's something that you really like focus on and like you're really interested in, or if it's just something that you're like, okay, yeah, it doesn't really affect my cruise at all. Like the fun squad and the entertainment staff like really have a big effect on like how the cruise goes and like just the overall vibe of the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
You go on Royal Caribbean and like the cruise director, like I maybe saw the cruise director like once or twice.
Yeah. If that.
I think I remember the cruise director on the Independence because he was the same guy all three times back in 2022.
He came up to us that on that second cruise.
The second
that we went
time,
on.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
was like, he came up and was talking with us for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Too.
I only remembered him because I had him on Oasis. That was like the only reason I remembered him. But like you get, you know, he's not with the company anymore, but like Matt Mitchum, you know, Mike Pack, you know,
Yeah.
Kendall Fire.
Dr.
You just
E.
had her, right?
Yeah, no, Kendall's great. She's great, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had her. I had Lee is who I had on Mardi Gras, and he was a really good cruise director.
Yeah, well, Kendall, if you ever cruise on the Jubilee, she'll probably be there because if you look on the cruise director schedule, she's there till 7777. So,
Oh wow, yeah,
We
that's
did a
pretty much
whole,
her
like,
ship.
You did like a whole interview thing with her, right? Or spoke with her in one of your videos, Nick?
not with Kendall. I've done it with my past cruise director that I sail with, but Kendall, I don't think she like does the sit down interviews like that. But she does do like the big open forum Q&A type thing. So
Okay.
that's always pretty cool. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems to be a really good cruise director. She took Mardi Gras for a while,
Yeah.
and I always heard her whenever she was, you know, when the ship was going by.
Yeah.
She definitely leads a good deck party.
No, that's
and, like-
one thing about that sound system up there too. It'll blow your ears out.
It ain't Icon though.
No,
Oh my
definitely.
god,
Bro.
Icon was insane.
Bro,
17 noise complaints. Or
17
18, whatever I said.
I'm gonna do it whenever, because I've been messing with CapCut all night, but I'm gonna do it in a few minutes. I was looking for that that clip of Squidward waking up during when SpongeBob is doing like the jellyfish jam where like all blasting the speakers in the pineapple, and it was gonna be Squidward waking up and looking out the window, and it was gonna be 17 Miami residents on January 10th.
For real. Oh my, that's hilarious. How do you even make that noise complaint? I'd like to file a noise complaint. This big cruise ship came in and was blasting music at 7 o'clock in the morning.
What are you gonna like? What are you gonna do? Like the cops can't just show up and like, hey, turn that down. Like you can't.
Honestly,
you can't do that.
World Caribbean was kind of like suck it up. Like I don't even think they like. You don't even get like permits for that. They just like did it.
They just
like whatever.
They literally said, "Hey, Miami, it's time to wake up at 7 a.m." Like,
yeah, get to work.
Like that.
Get to work.
That TikTok meme of the cat with the megaphone is like "Levantanse," and it's like da 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 da. Like that was the vibe I got from Icon that morning. It was just, "Hey, Miami, we're here. Time to wake up. Let's go." World's biggest ship.
Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like that's such a Miami thing. So like,
absolutely.
It was fitting, but I'm sure all those rich people on Fisher Island and those towers next to us weren't too thrilled.
For real. I know Port Canaveral ain't gonna put up with that with Star. I know that. They're a little
all old people over there.
You said it, not me.
They won't even hear it. They won't even hear it coming if it's lots of music.
Take the hearing aids out. We're good.
Honey, did you hear that?
No. If they do ever do that in Galveston with one of them ships, all the buildings gonna crumble down because with as old as everything is there, man.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
I'm surprised Jubilee didn't come in with like a big entrance like that, being the big ship for Texas.
Did.
Oh, really?
It wasn't as loud as that, but she definitely did.
Not many things are that loud. We were.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. We were probably a good 400 or 500 feet away from the ship, and like the ground. It's a ship.
Shaking.
It's a ship 400 feet away in the water, but like the ground was shaking.
Yeah.
Like you could
my whole
feel
body
it.
was like vibrating.
It was wild.
Crazy.
That was probably one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was totally worth getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. You know what's funny? I know we're talking about Carnival, but so my parents were on Celebration that week. So my dad has like a Ring camera. I don't know if it's Ring cameras, but he's got like cameras on the outside of the house. So he got a notification at like 2 o'clock in the morning that there was motion at the door, like at the garage, and it was me leaving. So he's like, "What are you doing up so early?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't sleep. I'm going to see the ship come in now."
I remember I'd woken up, like I had my alarm set for 4 o'clock. We were going to get to South Point Park, and I wake up and Freedom of the Seas was coming in for a medical emergency. I texted him like, "Oh, dude, like, I just woke up. Like, I'm right here at the port. Like, Freedom's coming in. I'm about to go catch it." He sends me a picture of it. And I go, "Yeah, I see it right now." I'm like, "You're there?" He goes, "Yeah, I couldn't."
I've been here for like an hour already.
He's like, I've been here for like the last hour. I couldn't sleep. I was like, "Oh my God, it's 4 a.m. and you're already."
I think so. I'm like halfway there. I'm just passing the Guitar Hotel at the Hard Rock, and I go, "Oh, let me just check to see if like I can see Icon on marine traffic just to see where she's at." And I pull up and I see like the blue arrow like coming around, like getting ready to come around the corner. I go, "Oh my God, is she like coming in early?" And I click on it and it's Freedom. I go, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, "Oh, sick, I'm gonna go see Freedom."
Yeah.
That little Kia is about to do 150 down 95 in that little Kia.
Bro, I was flying. I was in the express lane. There was like maybe 2 other cars, bro. I was flying. Miami-Dade police officers I'm just kidding. I wasn't going that fast.
You can't prove anything.
You can't prove nothing.
The GPS is a time to beat, not an ETA.
That's right. Yeah, it said I was gonna get there at 3:30. I got there at 3:10.
You get like 5 minutes and you're like, "God, yeah, I got it."
Yeah, that was a hell of a morning. But anyway, it's Carnival.
I guess speaking of Icon, it's probably a good transition point with the new project because Carnival's going to have to go all out with this new project. And, we're finally starting to get the first little rumblings because for the longest time, like we've been hearing Norwegians got, they got 2 Prima class that nobody's ever really worried about because they're kind of just flopped. But they still got 4 more of those coming. You got 3 Icon class coming. Well, now 2 more coming. That they're both being built basically at the same time. And you got another Icon class, and they're already talking about their next project, which is going to be smaller, but they're already talking about it. And there's Carnival that's kind of just been silent a little bit. Like Carnival Corporation as a whole has been very quiet. Like after the Star Princess, like there's not really much.
No.
Maybe it's, I wouldn't call it a strategy, but maybe they're hiding something.
I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, I know Fincantieri's got a lot of they're also working on the Prima class. Like they're the ones that are doing that. So they kind of have to wait and kind of work in between and back and forth with those ships.
Right.
But I know that was I think COVID had a lot to do with it too. It was, they took on a lot of debt. All of them did. I think the timing of it all is that they were just starting to roll out this project and they're probably not even thinking about the next one yet, or maybe just starting to like come up with ideas for the next one. Whereas Royal Caribbean had already ordered all 3 Icon class. They had the Wonder pretty much done. They had the Utopia who's pretty much starting construction. So they're like, all right, well, we're stuck with these. And same with same with the Prima class from Norwegian, which those were just starting to roll out as COVID, and they had so many of them ordered. So like they've got 6 of them still to come out through the next couple of years. Exactly. Yeah. At least with the new Norwegian ones, it's that each set of 2 are getting bigger, because the biggest complaint I've heard about the Prima class is that they're too small. They took everything out of the Norwegian Encore, which is like a 170,000 ton ship or just close to it, and crammed it onto something that's 140. Like
that's like Royal Caribbean trying to take everything on Icon and put it on like Voyager.
Like if they took everything from Icon and put it in this like Discovery project that's supposed to be like 120, 130,000 tons, like that ain't gonna work.
No, not at all.
But with the Aqua, it's 10% bigger, and so is Prima 4, and then Prima 5 and 6 are 20% bigger, which are going to be about 170, 175. So like those last 2 are probably going to be the best ones. Yeah, which I guess definitely. Like the last in class are always going to be the best ones, like Jubilee, for example. Probably the best in the class of the XL ships because it's the last one. Yeah. They make the tweaks along the way. And they've even said that about Icon and Star. Like Star's going to be a little bit different, have different things that they didn't think they could do with Icon, but they're like, oh, we can. So Star's going to have a couple extra things.
Yeah, and I wonder if, so Prima and Viva are pretty much identical. I mean, obviously, like the paint style is different, but they're basically identical. And then Aqua, and I'm assuming the next one are going to be similar. Like, when I say similar, I mean like, how they like Prima and Viva have got like the go-kart track, and then Aqua's got that big water coaster slide thing.
Yeah,
I assume that the 4th one's going to have that, and then I wonder if the 2 after that are going to be different from that, or if they're just going to stick with that.
Yeah, I know they did the Aqua coaster because so many people were complaining about the go-karts and how much room it took up. He's like, there's no deck space on that ship, like nothing,
like 0.
Like somebody did like a over the top like pan of like drone shot of the Prima, and I'm like, you got like 30 feet and like 10 lounge chairs. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah,
exactly.
They didn't do a good job with that.
Don't get me wrong, go-karts are cool. That's like right, exactly. Like go-karts are cool. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever done on a ship when I did the Bliss like a couple years ago. That was amazing.
Yeah, but that class was meant for it. That was a good class to have on.
Yeah, they crammed a bigger track on a smaller ship.
Yep.
So that was kind of that's the problem. But I guess to Carnival's advantage, this next class, they're going bigger. 200,000 tons. So I'm really wondering, like, how do you top the XL class? Like, again, that's their best ship yet, and probably their most ambitious project they've ever had, and probably their most successful by a long shot, really. But like, how do they top the XL class? Like, you got a roller coaster on a ship. Like, what do you do after that?
Do we think it's going to be similar to, I don't know what the gross tonnage of those new Princess ships are.
180.
But 180. So do we think it's just going to be a 200,000 ton version of that design? Or are they going to go, because no, they're not really all similar, but it's the same, parent company. So I wonder if they'll do something like, I got so much going on in my head.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
Like XL and those Costa ships, like the same like design. You know, they have a different bow, but those are pretty much the same.
Right.
So I wonder if they're gonna do something similar. So like just a 200,000 version ton version
Right.
of those new princess ships. Whatever. I can't speak.
Right. No, I definitely get what you're saying. Like, and somebody on Instagram, Good Ship, I think is the name of the account, but like they do like just random renderings of like different ideas. But they actually made like a really, I think they like named it the Destiny, not that it's going to be the actual name of it, but
That'd be cool.
It'd be fitting.
It would be fitting because it's their first time going over 200, which I know Destiny was the first to go over 100, like in the industry.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Royal's been doing it for a while now, but that's a big thing for Carnival to go over 200. So I mean, it would be a fitting name. I don't want them to keep reusing names. I like the originality of, you know, different names, things like that, like Conquest, Glory, you know. But it was good for the XL class, but at the same time, if they did something that's 200,000 tons, I feel like Destiny would be a really good name for it.
For sure.
It would be nice to have. Go ahead, Nick. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, no, I was just saying, like I said earlier, I kind of hope they juke us out like Royal did and do it. They basically do like they said, Icon. They say it's going to be 200,000 tons, and then they come out a whole 50,000 tons larger.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And
They
it's
did
funny.
the same thing. Go ahead.
Oh, it's funny because like during the whole thing, it, you know, like Nick said, it was 200,000 tons the whole way through, and then like right at the end, like, oh, by the way, it's 250. Like during the construction process, like it didn't look like it was going to be bigger either. Like there's certain parts about Icon.
That comparison picture.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's so close. Like I've never seen a ship come that close to the Oasis class, and obviously it is bigger, but in certain aspects or certain parts of it, like basically the extra tonnage is coming from the way they did the back of the ship, is pretty much what it looks like it is. But
And probably that big glass dome at the front too.
exactly,
Yeah,
there's a whole theater in there.
It honestly kind of looks shorter.
Insane.
It does look shorter, doesn't it? That's because I remember our friend Robbie that does mostly NCL stuff. The running joke between the three of us was, "Oh, Icon's gonna be smaller, or Icon's gonna be bigger," but Justin and I the whole time were like, "Oh, it's gonna be 200,000 tons." I don't know what you mean. It's gonna be bigger than the Oasis class. Like the whole time.
They announced it, we were still doing that.
even after they like, "Oh, it's 250." We get a text from Robbie. "Oh, what's this about it being smaller?" I go, "Yeah, it's still smaller."
Like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know
like,
what you're talking
They can
about.
say whatever they want. Like, it's still smaller.
It's funny though, because like I wasn't expecting it to be that close. Like when I saw Icon in person, that thing's a monster. It's massive.
Yeah, it really. Just seeing it come in to Miami. I mean, the first thing I said is like, that thing is huge.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like I was like, oh my god! Like just seeing like the bow, like that flat bow coming like through the bushes that was like blocking it. I was like, holy crap, this thing's big.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just up close and personal with Symphony the other day in Fort Lauderdale,
And it still doesn't
and I was,
feel.
like, I was like looking at it. I'm like,
That was how it was. Wonder.
It's it's something about it, man.
Yeah. We keep going, go for the Royal, but
I love Royal Caribbean, except for the fact they don't invite us to anything. So if someone from Royal's like watching this, like, come on, man,
invite us to like the press events for Star or Utopia. We'll be there.
Yeah, what the hell? I would drop everything. I would quit my job if they wouldn't give me the day off. I'd be like,
No.
bye.
Knowing how much you enjoy your job, I wouldn't be surprised.
I hate my job.
But
Did you work at the cruise terminal too?
No, I'm a wine vendor now, and I'm over it.
Okay.
I've seen too much wine in the last 3 years.
he works at Intercruises like once a year so he can get those ship tours is basically what he does.
True.
I remember
And
it a
Alex-
long time ago.
Alex went back to work too, so we're
Just
gonna
use her.
go. I think I told you we're going over the summer. We're gonna
Okay.
tour the Mardi Gras whenever
Nice.
Symphony comes in on the Sundays.
Oh, that's right. That's gonna be sick. Oh, that's right. Because
Yeah.
we're gonna try to watch Symphony come from like the top deck of Mark. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And I'll get to see Wonder go out when I'm on Epic on Sunday because she goes out first. I'm so excited for that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Epic looks like a cool ship.
It's very
I
unique.
wanted to go on it since 2010 when it came out. I can't wait.
Like, no matter how bad the reviews on it are, like, it's still just one of those ships, like, I just want to go on.
Yeah.
And people say it's so ugly, but, like, I kind of
cool.
like it. I've never had a problem with it. I wish they built more of them.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be, and the shipyard wasn't having it. The Epic is such a weird ship, too. Like, there's so many weird quirks about it. Like, the staterooms are, like, an S shape. Like, the ship can't even dock in New York. Like, it's docked in New York like a whole 2 times. The way they did the lifeboats, because they basically look like they're thumbtacked onto the side of the ship.
They
basically are. Like,
the way their bathrooms are, like, in the staterooms.
Yeah, like, the toilet's here and the shower's, like, on the other side of the hallway. And then you have...
the toilet in the room? Like, in the actual room?
So, the toilet has, like, its own little room, but when you step out of the shower, you just, like, step out into the stateroom. Like, the shower isn't in the bathroom. And then the sink, like, to wash your hands is, like, next to, like, the vanity in the cabin. It's so weird. It's so weird. I'm going to have to do a room tour. I don't usually do room tours, but I'm going to have to do one because it's very weird.
I do feel like when Epic and Breeze were in Port Canaveral, I feel like those were kind of good competition for each other, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Breeze is probably one of the best Carnival ships. I love the Breeze.
100%.
I love the Breeze. They should just put Epic. They should put Epic and Breeze on 3 nights out of Canaveral to try and compete with Utopia. I mean, it's pretty much impossible, but
that's the one thing I hope Carnival does, and it's what I'm hoping with what this new project is. You know, maybe I don't think they're gonna put this new project on 3-night cruises. It's probably the last thing they would ever do with it. But putting a conquest class against, kind of like what I mentioned earlier when they were first rolling out the Oasis class, and they were, they opted out of the Pinnacle Project and they were bringing out more conquest class. Like, that's basically what it is on, like, that itinerary now, is that you're competing the Oasis class with the conquest class. Like, there's just no matter how much you love Carnival, there's, like, not a comparison between those two, just because it's twice the size. Legitimately twice the size.
Yeah, and at least if you put, like, one of the Dream or Vista class on the 3-night, at least, like, there's, like I said, you can't really compete with
closer,
Utopia,
bigger,
at least it's a little bit closer than the Conquest class,
Yeah,
that's true. But aren't the new ships? Aren't they supposed to be building 5 of those?
The
for Carnival?
I heard. I think it might be 4. It's either 4 or 5. Yeah.
Because it would be cool to see either one of those go into 3 and 4 nights new, or have the XL class ships switch out with those, and then one of those goes to 3 and 4 nights.
I heard.
I wouldn't be surprised if anything like that happens. They're gonna have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They really do, or at least, like I said.
Oh, your audio cut out.
Nope.
Let's see. I think he's muted. Right. But, like, that's one of
the. What was that, Nick?
One of the rumors, though, or one of the things going along with this rumor about these new ships, is that they might be looking to pump 1 to 2 out per year. Whether
that's
it's
like the old days, that's like Carnival in the old days when they were pumping out ships like twice a year.
Right, like whether it's one. I heard Costa is going to get one of these, which is surprising because Costa basically feels like they're going to go under at this point.
Yeah, they're basically out of business.
There you go. There you go.
We can hear you again.
No, I had an alarm that went off, and then it just everything. Yeah.
I got to change my profile pic on this so I'm not getting exposed with Glimmer.
I noticed that. I was like, oh, man.
You are totally exposed, you creep.
Oh my! Glimmer from Xenoblade Chronicles is just on the stream now. But yeah, like one of the things going along with this rumor is that they're gonna put 1 to 2 out per year is what I was hearing. Whether whether it's a Costa ship or like Costa and Carnival, but like they're putting out 2 a year is impressive, especially when you're putting out 200,000 ton ships a year. Like.
Yeah,
Royal's only done that once, and it was this year. Like, they've done 2 ships in a year before. Recently, it was 2016, but that was the Ovation and the Harmony. Like there's a
Yeah, and the
whole
two ships.
different thing between, you know, Ovation and Harmony compared to Star and or I guess Icon and Utopia, or to,
Right.
you know, Carnival 200,000 ton ships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I think y'all feel like Carnival's gonna bring in some more Costa by Carnival to fill in that 2-year gap where there's pretty much nothing going on.
at least one.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whether it's
So I feel like they're
the
gonna bring in Esmeralda and whatever the other one. I don't know. They
Toscana?
got some weird name. Yeah, Toscana.
yeah, they're either going to do that or they're going to keep it closer to the Vista class with the Diadema, because that's a dream class.
That's true, but
I
it still
want.
doesn't look the same, though.
You're
'Cause
right.
It looks kind of a little tacky.
You're right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer them to do the Smeralda, but who knows? I don't know if
good
they'll do
old-
that
Good old Joe Farkas.
for real. Because he did everything up until the dream class, basically. That's why they all look out, or like they all laid out the same and look the same.
Literally, I think Breeze was
Yeah.
the last ship he did, and they only let him do the casino and the theater, and you can tell.
Yeah, you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like with these 200,000 ton ships too, like, you know, one of the big things with Carnival is their lanai decks. Whenever they brought that out, that was one of the big things from the Pinnacle Project that they brought out on the Dream class. Like that was the first ship to have like an extended outdoor area down on the lower decks, down on deck 5, things like that. You know, NCL kind of copied that a little bit down the road with their
I
breakaway
love that,
ships.
though.
On
I think that's a
it's
great
such a
feature
good
on
design. Because like,
Yeah.
you know, originally like with the Dream class, like they didn't quite have that idea yet. But now they're putting restaurants. You can have outdoor dining and you're not even sitting up on the Lido deck. And you're having like
Yeah.
a nice steak dinner up there.
Not like
I
they
think-
did Vista real good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would love, I don't know if they will because Royal just does their own thing, but I would love if they're smaller. I mean, I don't know if you could do it on a smaller ship, but I would love if Royal would do something like that. I mean, I feel like they already tried to do a smaller version of that with Icon because they've got those big windows from the promenade that face out. And I think there's a bit of like an open deck out there, right?
Right under
Yes.
it, I think.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Right outside
Yeah,
the
so-
Pearl. It's right. Like, as you walk on, like from the gangway onto there.
Right. Yeah. So that'd be cool if Royal did something where it like wrapped around and had like a nice open deck closer to the ocean.
Hmm.
Yeah. You know how Royal on the Oasis, really on most of their ships, they have that deck that's behind all the lifeboats where they have the jogging track. I feel like
Yep.
Carnival needs to do that because they have the space for it. Because I did this
Oh, yeah.
the behind the scenes tour on Carnival Breeze, and it was just a whole, you know, they had the
Mhm.
space for it. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
exact same thing, but they just don't.
The
jog track.
XL class is the same way. When my
It's like a
friend that
crew
was working
area.
on the ship took me around, right? It's just crew area, but they've, like you said, Nick, they've got the room for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the jogging track on XL class is literally this big. Like,
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
It's still up in that same area, like around the sports court, isn't it? From what I
Yeah,
remember.
and you're dodging and weaving the roller coaster support beams and
Yeah.
the basketball court.
That's extra training, man. You go back and forth like, whoo, whoo, whoo.
Yeah.
Trying to dodge all the pillars from the roller coaster.
Yeah. More of
Do
an
you-
obstacle course, but yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
right. I guess back to the lanai deck, like with it, you know, that was a big thing with your Carnivals. So I feel like with this project, you know, I think it's called Project Smile or something like that. Like that's known for having the big wide areas at the bottom, like the Seaside, the Prima class. I don't know if they did it with Scarlet Lady, but like those
I don't
classes of ship, and I think the Princess ship is like that too. I think. But like they're known, especially the back area, and specifically at least, you know, it's huge, big open area in the back. It's very wide, and then like the Seaside and the Prima class, very wide areas on the side. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I was thinking earlier, like the lazy river, you know, that concept could finally come in. Like that's going to take up a lot of deck space, yes, but like with the go-karts taking up a lot of deck space in a lazy river, you're looking at a lounge area and you're looking at something that like, you know, an adrenaline, like, you know, high intensity activity here. Like the issue with the go-karts is that it's a high intensity activity. When people are looking for relaxation area, I feel like a lazy river would be a lot more well received if it were taking up a lot of deck space.
Right. And if you were planning on a new, like if you weren't trying to add a lazy river to an existing design, or like if you were designing a ship and adding that to it, you can design it in a way where it doesn't how do you explain it? Like doesn't interrupt the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of contain it in a certain area, whereas you can still have the flow of guests or whatever around where you would have that instead of just kind of like how NCL did, where they kind of just stuck the go-kart track on the top deck and it ruined all that open space.
Right.
You know, they could design it to where, like how Royal Caribbean, how Icon has that specific area for the water park, where you can design it and have a specific area for that lazy river and still have, you know, that open deck space where it doesn't take up that space or something like that.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't been on the Icon yet, but from what I've seen, so like on the pool deck on the Oasis class, like there's nothing underneath it. On Icon, there's a deck underneath it, like on like the main area, like towards the front, like the ping pong tables, they're like underneath that, like enclosed and all that. But like I think that deck goes all the way to the back to the hideaway area where like the flow rider and that like lounge area is. So like you can technically go all the way through it without even going through. Like there's basically a bypass, I guess.
Right.
Or of course you can just walk through it. I think so.
Or like glass windows, kind of. Yeah.
I think so. And I know they did that with the Windjammer buffet is kind of enclosed or like circles around that open area in the back too, kind of like they did with the Wonder in Utopia.
I'm glad they did that because crowd control on Allure's buffet up there, that was bad.
It's
like
so bad.
It's really bad. Like the fact that they still brought that concept back with Harmony and Symphony, it's kind of sucked. But when I did Wonder, that was like the best thing that they've done. Yeah. You can really tell with.
The view was good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. Like you can tell with Wonder and Utopia, they were heavily influenced by the Icon. Like that whole project. There's a couple things like of that you could tell were from Icon or Icon ideas that made their way over in there.
Yeah, 100%, because they had the ideas for Icon, you know, well before they were putting out Wonders.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
Exactly. But and then, so I guess, you know, that's like with the Lanai deck out of the way, like the Lido deck. What do you think they do with the Lido deck? Do you think they kind of shape it similar to the XL class where they have like a little bit of stadium seating, big open area? Because I know Carnival's the only one that does it, but they have the large open pool decks for the deck parties. You know, that's Carnival's bread and butter. You don't mess with the deck parties on Carnival.
Yeah.
No, they went a little bit smaller on XL class though. I gotta say,
a little bit,
from like threes. I was like, this is kind of small, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But I hope they don't do what they did with. Well, actually, it might be a cool concept. I don't know if they're gonna actually do it though. With Pinnacle, how I don't know if y'all saw the renderings where they had in the middle of the pool deck, it was a big like mountain-looking thing, and they had going up the side, water slide going down the middle, and I think the pool you could kind of go under it or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of interesting. I don't know if they should do it because that's kind of a little bit of a roadblock, but I don't know, that might be cool.
That'd be really cool. Like split the two pools like that.
Yeah, I would love for them to expand on the XL class, like the pool deck on XL, make it a little bit bigger and like to accommodate more people or a second pool, whatever. But then I would like for them to add a third deck on the pool deck, like how Breeze is and Vista, like how those class are. So that way you can have that second, like where that second deck is above the pool, like a, not enclosed, but like a covered lounge area where you're not like, you don't have to be like, you know, on Breeze and stuff, they've got like those different chairs and stuff, but it's still covered. I would love for them to do something like that.
That would be really cool.
For sure. Are you talking about like how they have Vista or Breeze and Vista, all them, and then add another deck so it's like three like that?
Kind of how
you got the pool deck, and then you got that second deck where it's really just seating and stuff, and then you got the third deck which is like up in the sun, and you got like your loungers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like Lido's deck 10, then you got like deck 11 that just kind of like circles around. There's nothing but like chairs and tables, and then like deck 12 has like everything else up top.
Okay, yeah.
It would give you more seating, that'd give you more capacity up there.
Right.
And it gives you an option to still be out by the pool deck and not have to be out in the sun, you know?
Exactly.
Right, exactly. I mean, that'd be really cool to see them do that.
Yeah.
Do you think they bring back the roller coaster?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's
like, what do you do after that? That's like part of my question. Like, bring it back. I think it'd be really cool, but like, what do you do after a roller coaster?
I mean, they're obviously going to have the room for it because the ship's going to be significantly.
yeah.
It's going to be what's XL now? 180.
180. These are expected to be about 208, so just slightly larger than the MSC World Class.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a significant size difference between XL. So
it's huge.
It would be cool to see them just, if they were to bring it back, make it different than what's on like the XL now.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they've kind of done that with like all the other classes and just expanded on it. Like Breeze or Dream Class, they have the ropes course, and then Vista, they have the ropes course and the sky ride, and then Mardi Gras, they have the ropes course and the roller coaster. So,
right.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to see if they did a different kind. If they were to do a roller coaster, at least change up the layout of it and make it do. I don't know. Maybe make it go over the side or something, like kind of something. I don't know if you could do that, but
yeah, I don't know. That'd be pretty sweet, though, wouldn't it?
Whatever. It's 2024. You can do whatever you want now.
Yeah, honestly, like we've got go-karts and a roller coaster on cruise ships now. Like I don't think there's really a limit to what you can and can't do on a cruise ship at this point. Like it's been done.
Like a whole Disney World dark ride in there, a big haunted mansion on there.
For real.
Or a small world or something, whatever.
Oh my god. Like, yeah, it's great. I mean, there's a lot more deck space, and I guess it's hard to really speculate what they could do with it because we don't really know what it looks like quite yet.
Ferris wheel.
A Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. It'd be hard to get it under bridges, but it's not like thing's gonna go to Tampa anytime soon.
Hey, could you imagine? Sorry, we can't come into your port. We have a giant Ferris wheel on our top deck.
It's just like it's one of those foldable ones that you like that are just on the little the little carts, like back in the day when like the teacher would roll in the little TVs and like watch it in the front of the classroom, like the Ferris wheel like rolls out on those. Just a couple hand carts.
Yeah, whenever it goes into a port with a bridge, they just pull it down for the day.
Oh my god.
Just fold it up.
That's what the comedian. We had a comedian on the Jubilee, and they said that they named the roller coaster after the missing piece on the roller coaster.
The bolt. Oh my god!
It was hilarious.
That's awesome. That's clever. I know.
That's why it's always shut down.
Oh funny. My god! Was it shut down a lot for you?
It was shut down a couple times. Like I think the whole last day it was down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember,
Brandon. Was it shut down when you went?
It was never really shut down at all. Actually, when I did it, it shut down for like 30 minutes, and my whole family chickened out because like, oh my god, it's broken. But like, I was like, come on, I'm trying to go on the roller coaster, man. So I just rebooked it for 30 minutes later, and I went.
Perfect.
It's worth that price tag though.
What is it, like $15?
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
3 times now compared to that one they originally rolled it out with.
Yeah. I think it's the same for the go-karts on NCL, but I feel like for some reason, as much as I love go-karts, like I'd much rather pay the $15 to go on a roller coaster than the go-karts.
Were they fast?
A roller coaster on a cruise ship? Come on.
That's
crazy.
They were pretty fast, I would say. I think they're able to like track how many times you've done it too, which I feel like if you're getting to the point where they like unrestrict the carts, like you've probably spent way too much money. So
right.
But and like you can't really go that fast just because of the track. Like the carts themselves were quick, but you just really couldn't get up to any sort of speed, and if you did, you're gonna have to start braking or you're gonna just dive into the wall, which my sister did that. My sister drilled it one day on the Bliss.
Oh, jeez. Of course she did.
It was funny. The funniest thing, I'm surprised this doesn't like spark fights on like with the go-karts, because like people get road rage. Man, this old man, probably like 60-year-old man, was beefing with my little sister who was like 16 at the time on the go-karts. I'm like, bro, she's a child. Like, back off.
That's hilarious.
I was like, you're a grown man beefing with a child on go-kart track. Like, you need to chill, bud.
What does your life come to at that point?
For real.
I see a good comment down here. They're talking about the superstructure of the ship. Do you think they're going to go with the split one again? Or they? That's because I think it would be cool, but I feel like Carnival would just completely get accused for copying Royal, even though they came with it first. But I don't know.
That would be crazy.
With the with that project, that project and that style of ship from Fincantieri is known for having that skinny superstructure, at least like in the back, and it gradually gets wider up front, and it has that really wide base. But the thing is, they've never built no 200,000 ton ship doesn't have a split structure.
That's true.
The MSC World Class and the new Disney ship, the Disney Adventure, that big one that they bought from what is it, Global or Genting Hong Kong, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, it's not split in the back, but it's got like that big open area and that slant upwards like the Oasis class has, but it's open in the middle like it has Central Park.
Right.
So like everything that's been over 200,000 tons, whether it's old or new, it all has the split structure on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar to, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know for sure, but at the MSC World, that World Class, it's only open in the back, right? They don't have the middle opened up like that?
You're right. I don't think so.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. And I think the Pinnacle Class was exactly like that, where it was open in the back only.
Right. It was a little different. With the it was a little different because like they had those like the slides on the rendering, which I'll touch on in a second, but like they had the split structure sort of like it looked like it was the Aqua Theater suites on the Oasis class, but like there was almost like there was a glass wall like right on the backside of them.
It's
That would be cool though if they did it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that would be cool if they did if they split the back open, like just the very back, and had a big glass wall and like maybe put elevators in there. But that whole, I think MSC is similar.
MSC's Seaside, the Seaside class has those elevators in the back. I wonder if they could do that.
That would be cool.
If they do the split structure and run them, up and down the middle.
Yeah. I would like to see this has never been done before. And I honestly, because it's never been done before, I doubt they do it. But I'd like to see like a ship be split up into towers. Instead of it being split up like in the middle, here, let me get my ship model to show you. Hold on.
There we go.
Ooh, this is getting good.
All right. We love ship models here.
We love ship models. We should have asked you for a Jubilee model.
Ah.
I was broke.
Oh, look, there it is.
But yeah, all right. So
that's such a nice model.
Split in the middle like this. I think they should split it like take this and like take it out.
like the glass area in the like on the sides, like have that open.
Yeah, like from this way up, just take that out. And
that would be insane.
That would be really cool.
Crazy design.
Yeah.
And then you could just put like a big. That's where you could put the lazy river
in the middle.
Yeah. Or
Carnival, call us right now.
All I'm saying is I need to work for Carnival as a ship designer. That's all I'm saying.
They need to be listening to this podcast, man. They're getting so many good ideas.
Somebody from these cruise lines better be watching.
I doubt it. We have like what, maybe 5 people watching.
we got 25 people watching right now.
Oh my god!
This is
famous,
honestly,
bro.
Or I've been like looking at like periodically, like this is probably
crazy.
One of the biggest like crowds we've had in the actual live stream of this.
It's because of Nick.
Yeah, you're famous, man.
Thank you, Nick.
But yeah, like there's so many things like with the Pinnacle Project that like they could easily do too. What if they did the monorail system? What if they finally did that?
They need to bring that back.
I would be on 3 or 4 back-to-backs. I would just sit on
absolutely.
I love monorails.
This man will literally go. Somebody's echoing. This man will go to Disney World just to ride the monorails.
I have a second channel just based off of monorail stuff. The videos do pretty well actually. I gotta start
They really.
I love monorails. So it's funny when we used to go. So when we were like growing up, my family, like me and my brother and sister, we'd go to Disney like a couple times a year. But then when we got older, we started going to Universal instead. So every time we went to Universal, I'm like, Dad, you got to take me to like ride the monorail. Like we're up here already. We might as well just drive down the street and go on it. He's like, oh, geez. So every time we'd go to Universal, him and I would drive over there and go on the monorail.
That's hilarious.
No wonder he hates me.
There's one time I was ship spotting in Tampa. It's not even that we were in Canaveral and like you were passing on your way home. We were ship spotting in Tampa, And like we were making like dinner plans, and then we're like gonna go to like Kobe Steakhouse or something like that. And then all of a sudden he goes, I want to ride the monorail.
I just told someone this story. Do you remember what happened later that day?
Oh no.
That stupid traffic, man.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Let's just say I may have not been driving in the designated driving lanes at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that was the funniest thing. I don't know.
So what happened
Somebody's
was-
echoing, by the way.
It might be me. I don't know how to fix that if I am.
Huh.
I've got everything muted.
But
so I-
anyways, yeah, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah, but I was like sitting there in traffic. It's like bumper to bumper, and all of a sudden, it just like I just see this Kia on the shoulder, and I see the stupid little Disney annual pass magnets on the back of it. I called him. I go, Justin Hirsch, what the heck are you doing? Because he was like 10 minutes behind me.
It's really not as bad as it seems. What happened was we're sitting on I-4, and Nick, if you don't understand what I-4 is, it's the road that goes from Tampa to Daytona. It's the worst highway in America. There's traffic, and you can be driving at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's bumper-to-bumper traffic.
I was gonna say you haven't been to Houston, but it's okay. It's all right.
All right, fair enough. But we're sitting in traffic, and I don't have a problem with it. But the person in front of me was going twice as slow as the rest of the traffic. So I'm like, all right, I just need to get around this guy and I'll be fine. So I wait for the car in front of him to pull up because I knew he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So the guy pulls up and I floor it. And I go on the shoulder. I'm in the left lane. I go on the shoulder. And as I'm going around this guy, some idiot from the middle lane merged into the area where I was going to merge. So I couldn't go over. So I'm like, well, I might as well just keep driving until there was an opening. So there's like, I'm going for like 2.5 miles before something opens.
Oh my God.
I finally pull. It sounds so bad. But
Blows by me.
I finally pull into the lane, like the left lane again, and Brandon calls me, and he goes, "Was that you driving on the shoulder?"
Brandon, what's it with you spotting Justin randomly, like doing this stuff? First on the roller coaster, just
I know, right?
at work.
But I was like, I knew he was behind me somewhere, but he was like a good ways behind me because like I left, he was like still breaking down the tent.
When you left, I was still, like you said, I was still taking down the tent, and I was still running a time lapse that probably had about 10 minutes left to go. So you got a good start, like a head start on me. Mm-hmm. You call, you go, was that you on the shoulder? Yup.
It's the dorky little Kia. What is it? The Kia Sportage with the Disney annual pass magnets on the back of it. I was like, you can't miss that.
And I got the
like my car's hard to miss.
Cruise ship license plate cover.
Exactly. Like my car's hard to miss, but like you're like the only idiot with a Kia that has Disney magnets on the back of it.
When you see a mom car speeding on the side of the road.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Classic. Such a class. I was cracking up when you called me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So if you ever come to Florida and you're driving on I-4, just be careful.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
watch
maybe
for
I'm
him.
gonna have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, if you see a gray Kia Sportage driving erratically, just get out of the way.
It's him.
That's funny.
Anyways, back
to Carnival. back to the whole thing that sparked that was the monorails because he literally.
I love monorails.
We were like going to we were ship spotting in Tampa, so it was like what 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at that point. And he's like, I want to ride the monorail. So he drives from Tampa, sits in like 2 hours worth of traffic to go to Disney, just rides the monorails in circles all night long, and then drives back to Tampa.
Like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. but that
I like
absolutely.
I go to the Contemporary. I have a couple drinks. I'm getting a little bit of a buzz on, and I just sit on the monorail and I just ride around all night. There's nothing wrong with it, man. I'm not causing any problem.
The circles will sober you up a little bit.
Yeah, after a while, I'm like, geez, I've heard the same spiel for 2 hours already.
For real.
Please stand clear of the doors. What doors?
That would be funny. You on this new class of ship if it had a monorail on it. That
would
is the
miss
one
Sailways
thing.
just to be on the monorail.
Can you imagine watching Sailways from the monorails? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Carnival, you need to put a monorail on your next ship, please.
They always
I will
said
exclusively sail with you.
they always said the reason they never brought that concept back on like all the ships that came after Pinnacles because they weren't able to justify it for the size and the guest capacity. But this class of ship is the same size and similar guest capacity. Same builder, by the way. That's one thing I did notice. The same builder that came up with the Pinnacle Project concept is pitching this idea and like in the works right now. So like it very well could be a modern day Pinnacle Project, which I think a lot of people are hoping for. But like,
I hope so.
Like that would be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. And again, we've now seen a roller coaster. We've now seen go-karts.
What else?
Exactly. What else? Like Royal Caribbean has a skydiving. Right, exactly. Like you got an IMAX theater. Royal's got a skydiving simulator and bumper cars on the Quantum class. Like, who thought of that? Like
bungee jumping. That's what they go.
Yeah. They have that.
Yeah, right off the side of the ship.
Yeah.
They have those little bungee trampolines, like those things that you see like inside of like the local malls. They like, oh yeah, here come. You have your kid pay $20 and you can jump for a couple minutes on these little bungee trampolines. Yeah. They have those on the ship now. The Mariner Independence and then the two, the Spectrum and the Odyssey have them. It's the craziest thing.
Those trampoline things. I think one of the Vision class ships at one point had them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
cool.
one of the smaller ones.
I think Enchantment was the only one that had it. I know Enchantment had it, but I think she was the only one that had it.
I know that. I think they took it away at this point because I haven't seen it or heard it.
Probably.
Yeah.
They took it away when they took them all away, like off of Odyssey and.
Oh, that's right. They took them all off.
So,
yeah, some dude broke his back. Like the bungee snapped or something like that. Could you imagine? Because they used to put VR headsets on, like for that.
Yeah.
So like, could you imagine? You just like, I heard something snap.
Yeah, you break your
this poor guy
in some other world.
This poor guy, but like, I couldn't imagine what was going through my mind if I've just got like a VR headset, because I think it was like simulating like jumping in like on Mars or something, or like on the moon.
Yeah,
and you're just like, exactly. I'm actually falling. But like, so they're repurposing those now, which is good because that's a big liability, especially after that, and definitely don't want that happening again. But
imagine you filmed the GTA animation when you
waste. Oh my god.
Okay. But yeah, they could bring I don't know if their partnership ended or what, but the Panorama, they have Sky Zone on there, and I wonder if they're gonna bring something like that back.
That would be really cool.
I saw someone break their knee doing that once though, so I don't know if I'd do it.
That was my thing with the Panorama. Like I love the idea. Like I think it's a really cool idea, but I feel like it's anything that involves like high jumping just doesn't seem to go over well. So like I haven't heard anything from the Panorama about it, but seeing how people on bungee trampolines, got hurt on Royal, I don't know. It could go wrong any day. But it would be a cool idea though, because I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah. No, it's a cool concept. Mm-hmm. But then again, like y'all said, I haven't really heard anything. So I wonder if because they've been on Vista Class and Horizon. Mm-hmm. Apparently, this is just a rumor, but whenever they go into dry dock again, they're gonna apparently remove because they've already started what is it called, the Thrill Theater. They started taking those off the ship.
Oh, right.
But apparently, IMAX is gonna go too. I don't know if that's true.
I did hear that.
Apparently, that's gonna get replaced with a casino.
Interesting. I wonder.
We're gonna find out in a few weeks with Vista. Now,
but I don't know if she's in a type of dry dock for that.
I mean, it's
probably not
general maintenance, so I mean, it's not.
Right.
There's that big dry dock they're doing on the Joy right now. They're doing that in like 2 weeks. They're taking out the whole Galaxy Pavilion, replacing it with a whole spa area, and then removing the laser tag, like, and all that, updating suites, all sorts of stuff, like adding like 20 something balcony cabins, like, and they're doing that in 2 weeks.
What's it with them removing all the good stuff though? Because I feel like the Thrill Theater was a really cool concept on Breeze, and they just
real.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
they want to make money.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like, I haven't heard too much about, like, I don't think it was popular enough. Like, everybody feels like it's a really cool thing, but like I never really did it when I went on it. I was like,
It was
oh, cool, there it
tough to
is.
though. Like you had to be looking for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
Like I forgot all about it when I did the Breeze. Like the last day of the cruise, I was like, oh my god, there it is.
Yeah, because like Breeze's lower promenade, it's like it's a whole bunch of twists and turns on that one wall that's facing like the rest of the ship. So it's like it's super easy to miss because it's like I think it's tucked around a part where the wall pokes out, and then you have to go around that wall to go like inside. It's weird.
It's
weird.
kind of hidden. Kind of like what it's weird how they did it. The Limelight Lounge on the XL class, it's like tucked in a closet almost.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find it until like the last day.
Yeah, like the whole time, I was like, "What the heck?" Like, it was just right next to the Alchemy Bar, and I see the Limelight Lounge. I was like, "That's like a staircase." Oh. It's like, and it's just like tiny little room off to the side. It was nice in there. I think
it was.
I liked what they did. I don't know if it was like this on Jubilee for you, but when I was on Mardi Gras, what they did is that they used it because like all the other Carnival ships at the Limelight Lounge is the Comedy Club, and but they had a whole dedicated Punchliner Lounge on the XL class. So what they did is that the 18 plus shows were in Punchliner, and Limelight had the kid friendly ones. So it was really cool how they split it. I really liked how they did that.
And then the nightclub was in Limelight too.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like it was definitely I hope that comes back in the next class too. Like it was a really good. It was weird how they did it. Yes, that they split it, but it was a concept that worked, and I think it was really good because then you can really differentiate it too.
Yeah.
And you can have two comedy shows running at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was always like the biggest thing. I know there's always, especially in Carnival, there's always the big lines to get into the comedy club, you know, towards the end of the night, especially like the later ones. It's always a big line. Yeah. But if you split it, you know, then you've got people going to two different shows, whether people want to go to the 18 plus or if it's, you know, kids only, things like that. Like you're still splitting the crowd.
Yeah. It was very split on the Jubilee though, because like with the way that it's tucked away, like I said, it's kind of hard to find.
Right.
So like it was nothing but I think it was me and 4 other people in the comedy show. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember it was like the last day of the cruise. Speaking of the Limelight Lounge on Mardi Gras, they were holding trivia, and unfortunately the Fun Squad host was like my age, so I was just like, crap, like somebody my age think I'm like absolute dork now. But they were holding SpongeBob trivia. Do you know? Do you want to know who? Do you want to know who beat out a kid for first place?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I got them all. I literally got 100. I got them all right. I got everything right. The kid missed one. I felt so bad. I was like, oh.
Don't feel bad. These kids have to understand that you can't always win.
Just spit out his drink.
I'm gonna be a great father, aren't I?
Oh, absolutely.
You wanted that ship on a stick so bad, didn't you?
I've got it. I don't have my ship model collection near me, but I got the ship on a stick that says Mardi Gras, and it was worth it. I got all 10 questions. It was like 10 or 20 questions. I got them all right in SpongeBob trivia, and I am not ashamed of it.
No, you shouldn't be.
Supposed to be on
proud.
SpongeBob?
What was that?
Go ahead. Wait, didn't you say something?
No, what'd you say?
No. Oh, okay. No, I said, weren't you supposed to be on Fun Squad at some point?
I was. You can blame. Well, Justin's kind of had an influence on it. And I think once I heard how great of a time Justin had, I was like, all right, maybe this isn't it.
Because I saw Justin on the Carnival website.
Yes.
Granted, I was doing youth staff on the Triumph, which was just awful. And I know it was only there for 2 weeks, but my sister did the same thing on the Pride for 6 months right before COVID, and she also hated it. So I think if I had done Fun Squad, I would have enjoyed myself better.
Yeah.
But since I was dealing with kids who are already obnoxious at home, but now they're on vacation, it was just a little too much for me.
Little kids are evil.
Yeah, it's for
I
real,
thoroughly enjoyed my day in New Orleans before I left. Let's just say that.
I always joke with him because he did that right around the same time I did Norwegian Bliss, which was a 15-day Panama Canal cruise. I always joke with him. I was on the Bliss longer than he was on the Triumph working.
True. I made it it was technically 3 cruises because it was doing short cruises, but it was 14 days.
Yeah.
I said nope.
I'm out.
I mean, do I regret leaving? 100%, because if I had just stuck it out like a big boy and not been a little baby, I would have had all the connections in the world to do whatever I wanted with Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
But since I was like, nah, I don't want to do this, I kind of screwed that up. But
Yeah.
the good news is, one of my dad's clients works for Royal Caribbean, works for Carnival. So I'm trying to get us some social media connections there. So stay tuned.
Nice. Yeah.
I got you, Nick. Don't
we
worry.
got you. We got you.
I got
I
you.
would say like, connections. I got connections.
Really?
Ooh, all right.
That's awesome.
Nick, you're on the podcast. You're one of us now.
You're one of us now. But yeah, I was.
Have to come ship spotting with us and see how we really are.
Yeah,
Right?
for real. Yeah, ship spotting with us is a mess. We got a whole setup now. We'll bring out the Nintendo Switch. We got a big tent.
Yeah.
We got everything. We're living when we're out
We're
there.
gonna have like a grill there.
We're
We're
gonna-
gonna start living.
We're planning on grilling whenever, because during the summer, the Oasis class, they have the symphony this year. It'll come in, so we have double
anymore.
Oasis class days. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it comes in early,
Might as
so
well just
we
camp at the port at this
exactly.
point.
Well, it is a campground too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
basically get there at like 9 a.m. and we're there until like 6 p.m. So
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly, because MSC doesn't leave till 6 p.m. So yeah, we're pretty much there from like 10 o'clock all the way until like 6. It's a long day, so yeah, we plan on
But it's
grilling.
worth
We're gonna get some sort of hookup out of the car inside of our little tent and just do some grilling.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And now I have that new tent that you can completely enclose too, so we can like just do whatever we want.
There
This
you go.
this is like, we had a little tiny, like, they're like the little canopy tents, and he like texted me, goes, oh, the tent broke that we had, in like a windstorm in Tampa. And then like 2 days later,
Oh,
he
whoops.
sends me this like link to a Walmart website, and it's like a 30-foot tent. Like they show like a car inside of it. I was like, dude,
Parking little key in there.
exactly.
Classic,
Like
yeah.
my little Civic will just fit just fine in there. I'm like, bro, I don't know if we need a 30-foot tent, but I mean,
I almost bought it. It was like $30 more than the one I bought, but like I don't need one that can fit an entire car underneath it,
exactly,
so-
exactly.
I like the one we have now. I just have to like figure out how those Velcro pieces go on the right way, but
Mhm.
the one I got now is pretty nice. We can basically live there.
Oh, pretty
That's
much,
cool.
pretty much.
I mean, we do anyways, but
Yeah, but yeah. Back to Fun Squad though. Yeah, after seeing like, I know I had Fun Squad, and it was probably gonna be a little bit better than that, but seeing how much he disliked being on Triumph, I was like, because him and I are basically identical, like personality wise, like, and just what we, kind of the vibe. So like, that's like the funny thing is like, we get it a lot, but like, it's absolutely true. Like him and I are like basically identical personality, vibe, overall, everything.
I can
And
feel
so I
it.
was
Yeah, I
like,
can feel it.
yeah. And so I was like, all right, well, if he didn't like it, he was doing a 2-month internship where I had a full 6-month contract. I was like, I don't know.
yeah.
Weren't you were with Kendall though? Well, I mean, Kendall was doing fun because you were on the original like rollout of the internship, right?
I was either the first or second year, but I think I was the first year because every time they post like I call advertising for it,
Mhm.
they always
Yeah.
use that picture that we took outside of Carnival headquarters. That's why I got to meet Mickey Harrison too. We're sitting in a meeting room and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna show you around headquarters," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome." So we take the elevator downstairs. They have these huge shit, like full size ship models in there. They got a big map that shows where all the ships are, and I'm sitting there. I go, if Mickey Harrison walks in here and he comes my way, I have to say hi to him. And the next thing you know, I look over to the entrance of the building. He's walking in. I go, oh my god! So he goes to the little. They have like the little like reception area, and then you go through like these little gates. You can either go straight. There's like 2 buildings, so you can either go straight towards the other building, or you can make the left and go towards the elevator bank, which is where we were where we were standing. And he walks through the gate and makes the left. I go, oh my god, I gotta speak to him. So he comes up to us. I go, Mr. Harrison, it's an honor to meet you. my name is Justin. We're part of your internship group. He's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm glad you guys are like part of it, blah, blah, blah. I go, can I get a picture with you? He goes, absolutely. So I took the picture. I sent it to my dad. My dad goes, holy shit.
That's such a reaction your dad would have too.
I couldn't believe it. And we also met. I had Matt on the breeze when I went, but he must have just signed off of one of his contracts, and he was like in the building. So we were getting ready to go downstairs, and he like came out of the elevator. I was like, "Oh my god, Matt, what's going on?" He was, "Justin, how are you?" I go, "You know my name?" Classic. I took a picture with it. Oh, that was honestly being at headquarters for the 3 days was much better than the actual internship.
Oh yeah.
No, I definitely want to try out the internship when I'm trying to get into Fun Squad if I can.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some connections with it already, so fingers crossed.
I was gonna say
Absolutely.
you've
Well,
like
that's
got
what
the
we
vibe
do.
and personality. I think you like. I get cruise director vibes from you.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
If you ever make it, don't forget about us. I know we're just some.
Bring us on for
losers.
tours, man.
No,
Yeah,
believe it or not,
please just bring us on for the day, please.
you probably get lost and somehow end up there on day number 3. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll come up to you on a C-Day. Nick, how the hell did we get off this thing?
no, Justin will just be on the monorail, just going.
Circling around. Nick's gonna be the one that brings in these new class of ships. That would be
Well,
crazy.
No, that would be though. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, but
Yeah.
it's almost that time though.
Yeah, because you're a senior in high school?
Almost.
Nice.
One more year.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get college done in 3 years if I can.
There you go.
So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I've always kind of like watching your videos. I've always gotten the vibe like I feel like I'm cruise director, but like vlogging. It's like kind of the vibe I've always gotten.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I always wanted, because I grew up watching you guys and Josh Hokum, and so I wanted to kind of be like a mix of all of those together. So that's kind of where this personality came from. But
Nice.
Well, you're doing a good job. Seriously.
Yeah.
thank you.
Very
Appreciate
good
it,
editing. Kind of puts my editing to shame.
I don't do any.
You're
I
the
just
OG though.
trim it to the music.
For real. But he uses
That's
iMovie.
So that like brings back memories for me because that's what I grew up on. So
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
It's really cool, like, because you and Tyler said the same thing, and Caleb, who's Cruise Ship Media on Instagram, he like all of you guys have said the same thing. It's like really cool, like that we've kind of we're thought of that way. I know Justin's been doing it a little longer than I have, but it's kind of like a unique and cool feeling though, and like especially like seeing people like you guys that are like have such great quality content too. I'm like it's really cool to see.
Yeah, and that's literally the reason I made. That's literally the reason I made my channel, because I'm like, these are the things I want to see. Like, there's got to be other people out there that want to see this stuff too. So like how you're saying, like you saw that's the reason I did it. So I love hearing that.
yeah.
Like my grandfather always, I remember like growing up, because he's got like, my grandfather has videos of the Jubilee, or not the, well, actually the Jubilee when I first sailed on it back in like 2000. But he's got videos of the Carnival Destiny, like one of its first sailings of Carnival Destiny in San Juan. Like he's got like Tropical, the original Destiny, like the brand new Inspiration, like all of these old ships. Like, it's really cool. And so like, growing up, things like that, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then it's funny because it's actually a car YouTuber that got me got me the idea of like, oh, like, YouTube would be like really cool to do. And then I was like, oh, like cruise YouTube videos. And I think that's when I stumbled upon like one of Justin's like first videos. It was, I'm
afraid to hear this one.
It was
oh, they're so bad.
It was a certain video of somebody holding up a ship model going, hey guys, this is Oasis of the Seas 22. This is my Allure of the Seas ship model. I've sailed on this ship, and he hadn't even sailed on the ship.
Post videos, I got all these ship models from different people. I'd be like, oh, we had a crazy experience on this ship. If you want to hear about it, let me know. I'll make a video about it. Bro, I hadn't even been on this ship. Bro, what was wrong? What was wrong with me back then?
How old were y'all when y'all started y'all's channels?
I started in November Like November of 2012. So I was what, 97. So
Oh, never mind.
2007, 8, 9,
Oh, you said you were
11. I was
97.
like 14 or 15 or something like that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
I
Don't look up my other channel. I will not give it to you.
I'll get you the link. Don't worry. I got you. I got you the link. Don't worry.
No! It's so bad.
I'm gonna link it in the description of this podcast later on for everybody to see it. But
It's so bad. I posted a video, like it wasn't even cruise related. I was like in high school and there was like a storm coming in. So I just like filmed. I was like on the basketball court, like in PE, and I just like took a video of the storm. I was like, oh my God, guys, look at this storm coming in.
That's basically what your Snap stories are, basically. It's just storms rolling through Tampa.
I'm just older now. Yeah, I guess I'm the same.
Yeah.
So disgusting.
I was a senior in high school. It was like I was just ready to graduate. Actually, I had like 2 months left until I graduated, and my big graduation cruise was Oasis of the Seas. So I was like really excited about it, and I almost didn't do it. I was like very skeptical, and I was very afraid. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like run an Instagram account, but like I'd love to like just post pictures of cruise ships, like that's like share stuff like that, and so. Yeah. It took me like a month of like contemplating. I finally said, you know what? If it sticks, it sticks. And so I just started posting pictures of cruise ships. It's taken pictures when I went on Oasis a couple months after that. That was when I was, doing 3 cruises a year. Like I did Oasis, then I went on Dream right after that out of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And then I think I went on Breeze later that year. So like I had a couple of cruises lined up. So I just started, posting pictures, and eventually I got into like the YouTube aspect of it all, and it's kind of where it all really Instagram is where it took off, but Instagram's so weird because like I have 120,000 followers on Instagram, but I only get like 2,000 to 3,000 views on a reel, which is like the way like you can have hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and they don't really amount to much, but like if you go on to TikTok they're like more genuine viewers, and especially on YouTube as well. Like that's where I feel like the higher numbers really matter more on platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Just this like crazy algorithm, in Instagram, and probably half of them are bot accounts. Really, like my demographics on Instagram recently, like I had a reel that hit like a 1.5 million views, which is awesome. But like now all of my demographics are like Pakistan and like the Saudi Arabia, and then like the US is like number 3, and I'm like, what?
I'm saying, I had a reel that blew up. No, I had a reel that blew up, and all my viewers, half the likes were from India. I was like, India,
right? Like you don't get that on TikTok and YouTube though. Like it's just it's weird. But
I feel like YouTube is the same way with Instagram. Like I've got 22,000 subscribers. Yeah. Well, not really 21, 22, but I only get like 1,000, 2,000 views like on my videos. So it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, please watch my videos. I mean, Icon was the exception, but I think that was a lot of just non-subscribers looking for Icon videos. But like other than that, I mean,
yeah, it's weird and I feel like not everybody watches everything, and I don't expect people to watch every single video I put out at this point. Like I'm putting out so much content that's like every day I'm posting videos. Like I'm posting more than ever. Like sometimes I'm double uploading because I'm like putting out a news video or something like that. So like people aren't gonna watch. Thank you. But but things...
Sorry, we're live. I forgot.
But like things like that. Like I don't expect people to watch everything. But especially posting like 2 videos a day. But yeah, it's weird sometimes. Like sometimes like a video do really well, and then there's some that just like don't stick. But then there's it's social media, and being a content creator is just it's weird. It's weird, like gauging reactions in crowds and things like that. It's just kind of one of those things you got to be used to.
Yeah, nothing's consistent like ever.
Right, exactly.
For real.
Like I my channel blew up, but like over the last like month I'm up like 700 subscribers over the last 28 days, but I mean the views are still relatively the same. It's mostly the shorts, and the shorts algorithm is great. Shorts
It
are
is,
great for
yeah.
shorts are great for growing, and then you've got the actual videos that are like for keeping the audience that's already there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. Back to Carnival again.
Back to Carnival.
Back to Carnival.
It's like an hour and a half, but no big deal.
Yeah, we'll probably start wrapping it up here in a few minutes, anyways. But yeah, like, so I guess to start wrapping it up, really, like, what's like from each of you guys, like, what's one thing you hope to see? It's like my mentality with the XL class right now is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But so like, what do you think is next for Carnival? Like, what's one thing that you really want to see, and one unrealistic expectation for this next class?
Unrealistic, I'm gonna say that monorail people mover system.
Yeah.
I just don't think the ships are, even like the Oasis class or even Icon class, I don't think it warrants something like that. So that's gonna be my unrealistic expectation.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see a split structure Carnival ship, even if it's the way Nick explained it, where it's like that middle section taken out.
That would be so cool. Because like
I
you
don't know
mentioned,
if that's really a split structure, but you get like, some kind of weird design like that. So I think that'd be more realistic. So that's kind of my expectation.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say unrealistic, the split superstructure down like the center of the ship, and then for realistic, some type of crazy attraction that nobody's heard of. I don't know, just something weird is gonna, whether it's a Ferris wheel that's foldable. I don't know, something.
Right.
One thing I'm surprised Carnival's never tried that the other cruise lines have done is laser tag. Like that's the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, laser tag, it's not super popular. I mean, NCL's taking it off the Joy, but like, I mean, I feel like Carnival would probably have the crowd that would go nuts for that.
True.
Right.
Well,
And
yeah,
NCL kind of
especially
just
on the
does
ship.
whatever.
Yeah. And NCL's just, we could go on a rant
We
about
don't talk
NCL.
about them.
We may have a cruise booked on them, but it's mostly just because we wanted to go on the ship.
Right, yeah, that's all it is.
I've been wanting to go on the Joy since it came out. That's the only reason I booked that over the celebration.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like the split superstructure idea, and kind of like you mentioned with that, like the hole in the middle almost, like, Nick was talking about that type of split structure. I think that would be really neat. And if they did something like that, if they put the lazy river in it, like I think Justin had mentioned earlier, like that's where to put it. Put the lazy river in the middle. Because then
It'd be perfect.
Because if you have that lanai, it goes from one end to the other, and you can go all the way across it. It's covered. You could probably have a little bit of sunshine areas with it too, or maybe a few little like gaps in the top deck that shine down into it if they wanted to. But like that's the place to put the lazy river if you're going to do that. I know Carnival's always wanted to do that. That's one of the only things that have come from the Pinnacle Project that like hasn't happened yet, other than the monorail. That's like the only thing.
Right. And it wouldn't be like that big, like oh, we're putting a roller coaster on our ship. Like, oh, like you're putting a lazy river. But it would be such a unique thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't really think about like, oh, I'm going on this ship because there's a lazy river. But like,
I'd be out there all day.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I would literally be there the whole sea day, just floating around like a lazy sack of doo-doo.
I feel like it would have to be big though, because I know everybody and their grandma's gonna want to be in it. So or they're gonna have to make a reservation system, which
I would hate that. Don't do that, Carnival.
Don't do it.
No reservations for the lazy river, please.
With the
And,
roller
Crown's Edge
coaster.
charging $90 for it.
Oh my god, I know.
What are you doing, Royal? Come on.
That's
now.
not even like a ropes course. It's just like a zip line that goes around the thing.
Yeah,
Brandon, you better do it. You better just pay the $90. I'm expecting a video.
That's gonna be the one time.
You want to give me $90? Yeah, if you paying, I'll do it. Venmo me $90.
I'll consider it. I've made $2,000 off of YouTube this month, so I'll consider it.
Jeez.
Yeah, bro, my icon video exploded.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
How many views is it at?
It's at 261, I think, and then the sail away video is at 150, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Nice,
So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm paying rent easily this month.
And Crown's
Jeez.
Edge.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll pay for your Crown's Edge too. Exactly.
that's what I like to hear.
I got you, Pookie. Don't worry.
was like, you can pay off the rest of your other crews too.
You're gonna pay my bar tab.
Yeah, I also need to pay, bro. You know how much I'm going on Epic on Sunday. You know how much the internet is? I literally need the internet for work, like to answer emails and stuff. They want like $400 for it.
We're gonna have to cancel that NCL cruise.
I'm gonna have to cancel my cruise in 4 days. This is ridiculous.
We might actually end up on the celebration now with that.
Yeah, for real. I would love to go on the Joy, but like, come on, NCL. $400 for two internet packages? Are you kidding me?
That's crazy. That's crazy. NCL is expensive.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's I think that's gonna be a good stopping point there. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for joining us today, being our guest star here, Nick, and of course Justin. Thanks for hanging out. Of course,
no problem.
Always welcome back. Always welcome back. Just let me know if you ever want to come back. Just let me know.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
This was good, Nick.
Anybody still listening, watching, whatever platform you're on, thanks for hanging out to this point. We'll see you next week. I think we're gonna do. I have no idea what we're gonna do next week. Actually, I know we were gonna do a pilot episode soon, but that's later on.
Yeah, I'll try and be there next week. I mean, I'm gonna have to get the internet regardless because for work.
Right.
So I will try and be there. Maybe we can do something. Whether you do the podcast or not, maybe we can do like just like a private one just to see if it'll work. And then if it like maybe like on a Tuesday or something just to test it. Okay. And if it works, then I'd be more than happy to do it.
Okay, cool.
I think we do it Wednesday, right? I think I'm in Puerto Rico that day, but I think we leave at 6. So if we do it like at 6:30, it should be fine.
Okay, cool. All right, we're great at wrapping this up. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching.